Hello.
What are you doing over there?
Oh, I was signing out. Namaste, salutations, welcome, and greetings. It's 9 o'clock. It's Thursday night, and that means it's time for
A nap.
Thursday Night Vibes with Master Rochi and Caitlin, the talent.
Yes.
Good evening, Caitlin. How are you today?
Tired.
Yeah.
Tired. Yep.
Well, that's better than our normal okay.
Well, I didn't get much sleep last night because I stayed up late working on homework and watching TV. And then
Now, what was the percentage of homework compared to the percentage of TV?
Well,
what were you really doing last night?
Well, I like to have background noise while I'm doing things. So I got my homework that was due last night done and then started on tonight's homework because I knew I was going to have to work at 12 today. So I knew I would have less time to work on homework today as compared to yesterday. So I did a decent percentage of homework.
Well, good.
The TV's just kind of, like I said, it's on as like background noise.
Right on.
Whenever I'm doing homework.
Let me help you. How's your microphone volume or your headset volume?
It's fine. Get out of my ears.
You like this? Yes, she does. Well, you said your body was broken from a 12-hour shift.
Yeah, I mean, today it was real rough on the body.
Well, that's a shame. That is a shame. I am sorry to hear about that, but you did get a little nap in.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, I didn't sleep long, but I slept hard.
Well, that's good. That's good. I am very, very happy.
Yes.
So,
yes.
What is going on? I mean, besides the last 24 hours?
Not a lot.
Not a lot? You don't have any glitz and glamour or anything that TMZ would be interested in?
No, I'm pretty boring.
Pretty boring. You heard it here. Caitlin, the talent, is pretty boring.
I am.
Well, we're going to have to change that. We are going to have to spice up your life. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
I'm good, buddy.
We're going to get you out there and meet and greet the many, many tens of followers that you have that are craving to meet Caitlin, the talent.
Mm.
So, one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight
Hmm.
was the the bill that was heard yesterday, House Bill 1297.
I saw a little something about that in the news or
Okay.
on my phone.
Well, what did you hear?
I didn't hear much. I just read the headline. I've been really busy, buddy.
Oh, okay. Well, let's put this in perspective. 13 cannabis decriminalization bills were presented. Out of those 13, 12 died without any type of consideration hearing. They just died.
Right.
So there was one bill that actually got a hearing, and it was Bill 1297. And what this bill basically would have done would have made possession of under 2 ounces uh, not it would still be illegal, but they're not going to arrest you for it.
Right.
So if you have 2 ounces or less, they're not going to arrest you. It's still illegal, but for quantities under 2 ounces, uh, they're going to let it slide as long as you're over 21. So that was what was introduced. Now, I think it was in 2017, 2019. Marion County passed a law just for the county, and that takes in most of Indianapolis,
Right.
that they weren't going to do anything with any amount under 1 ounce. So that's been in effect for a few years now, and it helped out the police department so they don't have to screw around with people that are just got a half or a quarter on them. And the bad thing is that even though they weren't really prosecuting or arresting people for quantities under an ounce, they were still using that as probable cause and a host of other things. I mean, still in Indiana, a joint will get you a $1,000 fine and 180 days in jail.
Oof.
So, Indiana is not kind. So and they haven't been looking to really legalize. They say that we have what is that metronol,
Marinol.
marinol. They say that we have medicinal cannabis because of that. We really don't have anything like that, and unlike other states that need the revenue, uh, Indiana isn't one of them. Indiana could care less about the revenue from a cannabis industry. They have uh, cash. We don't have a cash shortage in Indiana. I mean, there's a lot of things that we could do with the revenue, a lot of good things.
Right.
But, as far as the state's concerned, we really don't need the money. So, it's no wonder that, and our governor just really doesn't want cannabis legalized, plain and simple. So, anyway, one bill makes it through to decriminalize under 2 ounces. It got a hearing, but it was not going to be brought up for a vote. So that's kind of the end of that. Now we have a couple other bills that are in the House and the Senate that are kind of floating around, and we'll see where they go. But none of them really look positive. Now it's funny because of a recent poll, 80% of Hoosiers want some type of decriminalization. Uh, why aren't our politicians acting on what 80% want? I ask you, Caitlin the Talent, why are our politicians acting on what 80% of their constituents want?
There's no money to be made.
No money to be made. and a lot of money to
That's
oppose
what I
it.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. And, it's where those campaign donations come from. It's the special interests that find that it's more to their benefit to keep cannabis illegal in Indiana. It's that smaller and smaller minority that holds the purse strings to a lot of this. The only way that we are going to get cannabis legalized in Indiana is going to be an absolute grassroots effort, county by county, pressuring our representatives. And we've got to do it basically not county by county, but district by district. We've got to let our representatives and state senators know that this is what we want. We need to become that squeaky wheel, but it's got to be at the grassroots level. It's got to be from people like you and I, sending emails, making calls. And I encourage anybody and everybody to help us change Indiana. So that's kind of, oh, go ahead. Well, that makes about as much sense as about anything else. Are you watching yourself?
No.
No.
I share in the live places.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for doing that. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, and you can catch us on the Master Rochi's Garden, and we are also on
YouTube.
So, you can check us out both places. And we also have our new show on YouTube, also Mondays with Master Rochi. So you can check out the reruns. And we have all of the Thursday Night Vibe shows on YouTube also. So check them out. If you see one that you liked and in the past that you think that we could go back and revisit, let us know. We'll definitely check it out. How does that make you feel, Caitlin?
Topics,
the
too.
Talent.
If you have heard us discuss any topics that you would like us to touch base on again, you want a refresher course on them, you want some more interesting conversation on them, let us know. We'll go back, we'll reevaluate and reassess and redefine the situations.
Back to the future, you might say. And yes, I am wearing a finely crafted Master Rochi's Garden t-shirt from the Happy Hippie Head shop. So give them some love. Definitely.
Yes. We love us some Happy Hippie 365.
Really? Yes.
Yes.
So do you...
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yes. Happy birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
Is it belated or I thought it was today?
Is it today? I thought it was the other day.
No, we did the video.
Well, I know we did the video the other day, but I thought it was the other day.
I don't know. Mama Rochi keeps track of many of those things. So, blame Mama Rochi. Works for me. Or we just blame you when you're not here.
That's rude.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to just blame Caitlin for most everything.
That's rude.
So,
not cool, bud. Not cool.
Why? It's mostly true.
No, it's not.
I think.
Buddy, no.
I think it is. I think it is mostly true. Yes. I thought you had comments or something. No? Nothing? Nothing there. Nothing there. Well, for everybody that was tuned in last week, we were talking about the first part of how and why and when cannabis became illegal in the United States. The whole story, we're telling it how it is.
Yes.
So this is kind of the second installment of how cannabis became illegal.
The truth, and nothing but the truth.
So help Caitlin, the talent. But last week we talked about how cannabis was looking because of the decortification machines and the new technology, the stuff that Henry Ford and many other companies were doing as far as developing hemp and cannabis into different things, especially for industrial use.
Yes.
Um,
And for those of you who missed it last week, a decortification machine is to cannabis as a cotton gin is to cotton.
yes,
Right?
yes,
Right.
good for
Yes.
good for
Processing.
So in the late 20s and early 1930s, people are looking to the future and are seeing cannabis and hemp products as a multi-million, if not billion-dollar industry that's on the horizon. I mean, it's really starting to move in the right direction.
Right.
Now, you would think that this is a like really good thing.
Sounds like it.
However, during this time, there's a lot of individuals accumulating a mass amount of wealth and power within the company by monopolizing many industries. And one of those people was William Randolph Hearst.
Yes. Yes. Bill Hearst. I remember Bill Hearst from last week.
Yeah, this guy is a Class A low-life sleazeball. But Hearst, not only as being the number one newspaper publisher in the country,
he had the trees. He also had the trees.
He owned massive amounts of timber. So basically, he owned all the processes from growing the timber, making the paper, and selling the paper. He had a monopoly on this industry. So he is not really, and hemp is environmentally friendly to process compared to wood paper pulp.
Right.
1 acre of hemp over 20 years of rotation grows the same amount or produces the same amount of paper as a 4.2 acre plot of trees over the same 20-year period. So it's environmentally friendly, it's cheaper to produce, it is safer to process. So, people are seeing just incredible uses, and, they're finding that they can make plastics and all kinds of different stuff out of hemp. So it's looking great on the horizon. But Hearst and Kimberly Clark and other timber producers, if hemp catches on or is starting to be produced again, stand to lose millions, even become bankrupt. The DuPont Chemical Company, who is produced 40% of the munitions for the Allies in World War I. Not for the United States, for the Allies. 40% of the munitions came from this one company. So they're pretty powerful. They've had government contracts, but they just also patented some new man-made fibers, which will become to be known as rayon. So they are saying that these coal and petrochemical products are better for the environment. They are looking out for the natural resources.
So they're really trying to say that the coal and petrol products are better than the natural products.
Oh, yes, and cheaper.
See, sometimes I feel like back then they had like no concept of renewable resource, non-renewable resource.
Well, this is DuPont, because if cannabis continues to maintain being legal, this is going to cut into 80% of DuPont's new products made with these man-made fibers. And that is the last thing that they want. Now enter Andrew Mellon of Mellon Bank, who is the chief financier of DuPont. another another Mellon, who is Hoover's Secretary of Treasurer. All right. Mellon Bank is like the sixth largest bank in the country at this time. So, they've got some really
Hoover Mellon.
yeah, well, they've got some very powerful and influential people amongst these three. But Mellon, Hoover's Secretary of Treasurer, appoints his nephew, who is Harry Anslinger, to the Federal Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs. And this asshole was there for 31 years.
Mm.
So we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but this is 1931, and Harry Anslinger gets this position.
Right.
So
all these interesting names: Mellon, Anslinger, Harry Anslinger.
Well, yes, Harry Anslinger, and he is, another just total shitball. You're going to hear a lot more about Harry Anslinger in the future.
Mm.
So, kind of during this time, there's let's go back because this is kind of important. In 1914, there was a Harrison Act.
Mm-hmm.
And what this act did was it made illegal the purchase or possession of narcotics. And this is opium and cocaine. Cannabis was purposely left out of the Harrison Act.
So in 1914, only opium and cocaine were narcotics.
Are narcotics that you had to have a prescription in order to possess. So if you don't got a script for them, you're in trouble. So, and a lot of this had to do with manufacturing and quality and purity standards, which weren't really in effect at this time. So kind of like fentanyl today. You never knew if you're getting what you're getting or what could be mixed in with it. So this was to safeguard, actual patients and patients that needed this. It wasn't, heavily regulated like it is today, but they were trying to make sure the, only good products were being put out there to people who needed them. So this is important, but cannabis was left out. Now, in 1934, there was what we'll call the Machine Gun Bill Act.
Right.
And this is a very, very important thing. What they were saying is, okay, people aren't going to put up if we just outright, and they didn't have the support to outright ban machine guns, fully automatic machine guns. And after
no, of course not. The people will let you take their junks, but not their guns.
Well, after the mafia wars in the 20s, people really thought, we need to do something about machine guns, but we have the Second Amendment, so they didn't have the support to outright ban them. But they didn't want everybody to have one either. Right? Dig it?
I would have wanted one.
Right. So what did they do? They said, okay, you can have a machine gun. However, when you buy one, you have to buy it, pay $200 for a transfer tax.
Transfer tax.
Right. So to own or transfer tax. Yes. So you had to pay the government $200 as a transfer tax from whoever you're buying it to yourself, or from you're buying it. So, anyway.
So like a transfer of possession tax.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Now, let's get an idea of what $200 looked like in, in the mid 1930s. The average salary was $34.70 a week.
So $200 was like,
It would take 6 weeks of a 40-hour-a-week salary to pay the $200 tax in order to be able to get the machine gun. So, that's only $1,800 annually.
so if you wanted a machine gun,
right,
you either had to be rich or you had to work your hand end off to save up money for said machine gun.
Or you just don't get it.
Or no gun.
So this was taken to the Supreme Court and it was upheld.
Well, because wait, the other thing that we didn't bring up is there was the $200 transfer tax, but then I bet there was also the price of the machine gun itself.
Oh yeah, this is over and above taxes, the price of the merchandise.
How much do you think they were selling a machine gun for back then?
I don't know. I would have to do some research, but my guess would be around $20.
$20.
Yeah,
$20.
$20 to
so like
$20 to $50 maybe.
So like a 1,000% tax.
Yeah, basically.
A 1,000% tax on machine guns.
So what this started, and now see if this sounds familiar to anything that might be going on or in past memory has gone on, where the government all of a sudden was able to adjust behavior. Now this, we're calling this forcing acceptance of sudden new ideas of industry, tech, military, industrial complex, and social reorganization. This is called basically forced reorganization. So instead of our wonderful government going, we're going to make that illegal, because they don't have the support to make this illegal right now. But they've got a lot of people that are wanting to take cannabis out of the game. Now we also have them threatening the cotton industry and the petrochemical industry as technology gains. Now, in 1930, there was a study done for the U.S. Navy in Panama on off-duty sailors that smoke cannabis. And the consensus because they wanted to know, does this impair them? Is this addictive? The Navy wanted to know.
What do it be doing to our troops?
Right. Is this something we should ban or prohibit? Is this like alcohol? Where's our threshold of danger from not only being addictive but intoxication levels, and also they did a study and came back that they found it no more addictive than sugar or caffeine as far as being service and duty ready. So that study has been done in 1930. We move. Yes.
I was waiting.
Oh, you're waiting. Okay, Very good.
Your choo-choo went off the track. I was helping you with my hand gestures.
Oh, all right.
Encouragement.
No, I mean, so this is the beginning of what's going to end up being the 1937's Tax Act. So now we have people noticing this machine gun tax. We've got everybody now, aligned as far as major powerhouses and a lot of money on just ending cannabis one way or the other.
Right.
But right now, everybody's using cannabis products. Cannabis products are very popular. There's cannabis oils or tinctures in basically every medicine cabinet, uh, across the country. It is extremely uh, popular and very useful. The recreational use is nothing to be alarmed about. Like the Navy study showed, there's really no harm that's coming from it. Uh, so they can't go after cannabis directly. Now, this brings us back to your favorite person,
Bill Hayhurst.
Bill Hearst, William
Hearst.
Randolph Hearst. Now, this guy is a bigot. He is a racist. He is a yellow journalist from the 1910 to 1920. A lot of his headlines ran about cocaine crazed Negroes raping white women. And that's for 10 years. That was a focus of many of his stories. Well, that changed. All of a sudden, it is marijuana crazed Mexicans raping white women. So now he is publishing all kinds of, slanderous, awful, false stories about, an axe wielding teenager kills family after smoking marijuana. Now, nobody knows what in the hell marijuana is.
Right.
Because marijuana is a Spanish or Mexican slang term for cannabis. So
something that everybody had in their house, he just started spreading blaspheme.
well, they started calling. Nobody knew that marijuana and cannabis were the same.
Oh, so
So
like even people that had like cannabis tinctures and all that stuff in their house, I bet they were like, well, did you hear
yes,
about that marijuana?
Exactly, and that's what gets. And so people are starting to take notice, and they're going, "Oh my God, marijuana!" And the famous film. I just went blank.
The famous film.
Oh.
The famous
it's
film.
a cult classic now. But anyway, it came out. I mean, it's in cinemas. It's showing marijuana parties where people are dying and committing suicide and committing murder, and this is the way marijuana is being portrayed. However, nobody knows that marijuana is cannabis.
Right.
So it's they're starting to build up a lot of steam on this anti-marijuana fake campaign. The media is 100% behind it.
So everybody's pissed off at marijuana, but they don't know what it is.
Exactly. Exactly. So, now you're starting to get a rise of voices of, we've got to do something about this. We've got to do something about this. So, with our buddy Harry Anslinger
Mm-hmm.
now as, the director, and as a plant from DuPont and Hearst and Mellon, they're going to start working at social reorganization. In other words, we're going to get what they want us to get. They are going to make things not illegal, but they are going to make things either so prohibitively expensive to grow, to produce, or to manufacture that it'll never see the market, or it will destroy the market that there is. So this is the birth of the prohibitive tax, where you just tax something to the point where people can't afford it. It's like
Mom said Redder Madness.
Rudder madness.
Redder Madness. The movie.
Oh, Reefer Madness. Yes, Reefer Madness. Thank you.
Sorry, autocorrect.
Yeah.
So you're telling me basically, in order to eventually illegalize cannabis, what they did is they just price gouged the shit out of it.
Of course. And the government did this. Now, I need to tell everybody, this show is brought to you by Master Rochi's Garden, masterrochesgarden.com, where you can get our beard oil. You can get our original rolling trays, our grinders, our oils, our CBD oils, wonderful CBD oils, our t-shirts, and we hope to have new and more merchandise coming soon to you. MasterRochi'sGarden.com. Stop by, give us a like on Facebook at Master Rochi's Garden. Invite your friends. We would appreciate it very much because we've got a lot of friends on Master Rochi.
We got some sales going on right now too.
Yes. What kind of sales do we have going on?
Well, we got one ticking across the bottom of the screen.
Right on.
And then we got one on the screen. So for all you people that can read out there, the one ticking across the bottom of the screen.
Yes, she is that nice.
The one ticking across the bottom of the screen says 10% off Ambrosia Nights, February only.
Good stuff.
And then my little banner I got at the bottom says sign up for our newsletter to get 10% off on qualifying orders.
Right on.
Da, da, da.
So, getting back to our story, this is all, now we've got people in the government
that don't need to be in the government.
That have a task to do, and that is destroy the cannabis industry. We have huge amounts and powerful people with money, or powerful people with huge amounts of money backing them. We have a compliant media that is pushing distorted facts or outright lies about this personal agenda, this big money agenda. Sound familiar at all?
Marijuana bad.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a lot of stuff that's still going on today.
Cutting down trees, oil, good.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that we could be doing, but situations just like this, you get people inside, and these aren't exactly elected politicians. Now, make sure that you understand, so far, these are appointed positions. So there's absolutely no input right now on what they're planning. And they've been having many secret meetings amongst important players, and they have been working on this for several years. But they wanted to see how this machine gun tax was going to be held up, and the Supreme Court held it up.
Oh, so they needed like an example before they wanted to enact.
Exactly.
Before they wanted to try something, they wanted to.
So they are looking at their campaign against cannabis. Now, this is the kind of interesting thing. Instead of under the Harrison Act, which made the purchase and possession illegal of narcotics, and they excluded cannabis from that. Now you fast forward, and all of a sudden, they don't want to go back to the Harrison Act and make cannabis, the drug, illegal. They want to make cannabis the plant. They want to destroy that industry, the hemp and cannabis industry. So the Harrison Act's not going to help them, but the Machine Gun Act will.
Yeah, because they're going to, like I said, they're going to tax the hell out of it until people can't buy it no more.
Oh, they've got even a better one than that. Hey, I'll tell you what, let's take a quick music break because we've got some music from
Dakota Alvey.
Dakota Alvey and Samuel Alvey. We want to reach out and say thank you. We put the message out that we were looking for musicians. And we're also going to be playing Dakota on our Monday, Master Rochi's Monday but this is kind of a sneak peek for those, and we'll get this up as soon as Caitlin's ready.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
You good?
Yep.
I'ma run a check up all the way to the ceiling. Double shot up in my cup, just the way I've been feeling. And the scar's still bleeding, no, I'm still healing, and my soul's still freezing. But I still give it my all. Through the blood and sweat and tears, that's why I'm always gonna be right here. Don't you dare just disappear. With you, my vision's clear, I can see it all. I'ma get a couple plaques, put them on a wall. I'ma make it fucking rain like a waterfall. You can live all your dreams, we can have it all. Oh, everything you want, everything you wanna see. We can stay right here, we can go overseas. We can roll another blunt while we chill in the trees. I'm down for you while you down for me. Just take me home, never good at going. So you got my soul, and I hope that you know that you're my everything. Yeah, my heart gonna break if you ever go away. Yeah, you give me strength in the worst of days. I'ma run a check up all the way to the ceiling. Double shot up in my cup, it's the way I've been feeling. And the scar's still bleeding, no, I'm still healing, and my soul's still freezing. But I still give my all. Through the blood and sweat and tears, that's why I'm always gonna be right here. Don't you dare just disappear. With you, my vision's clear, it's HD. I need your love to save me. Like a raft in the ocean, got me holding on tight. In the middle of the storm, you give me light. Don't need these drugs, you give me high. Don't need no time, let it pass us by. Under the stars while we count the sky. Forever mine until I die. I'ma run a check up all the way to the ceiling. Double shot up in my cup, it's the way I've been feeling. And the scar's still bleeding, no, I'm still healing, and my soul's still freezing. But I still give my all. Through the blood and sweat and tears, that's why I'm always gonna be right here. Don't you dare just disappear. With you, my vision's so clear. You can say it's 2020, I've been counting up. I've been out here getting money, I need your love. Won't nobody take it from me or I hit 'em up. Drum mag in the Tommy like a dolphin. You can say I'm addicted like some morphine. Feel my pain like prescriptions, you're my everything. Can nothing tear us apart, and I've been right here waiting all the way from the start.
As I'm in the midst of applying for residency right now, wish me luck, Grammarly has again been a lifesaver with my
Get out of here. Grammarly is that dude's lifesaver.
Do what?
Grammarly is that dude's lifesaver.
There you
Hello?
go.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
It's plugged in.
Hello? Hello? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, turn the head volume up. So anyway, that was Dakota Alvey, and thank you for sharing us the tunes. And you know what? We're going to hear more from him on Monday night with Master Rochi.
The name of that song was called Right Here, and you can find more of Dakota Alvey's music on YouTube and SoundCloud.
Right on. Right on. Speaking of Mondays with Master Rochi, Caitlin the Talent, we will be having Michael Webster on, and he is the founder and managing manager of the Falling Leaves Infused Dinners out of Detroit. The guy is just phenomenal, and it's not just about the food. They say, come for the food, stay for the networking. He's brought a lot of people together. He's got a great voice. So tune in on Monday for Michael Webster. And we're also going to be talking about some ginger and some other stuff.
And not the kind of ginger you would think.
Ginger, the root. So we've got that going, and I think a few other things that we're going to follow up on Mondays with Master Rochi.
Did you used to be a ginger?
I did. I was a ginger. Yes, and that didn't help me either. Oh, but to wrap up our history for tonight, it's this brings us up to the 1937 hearings for the prohibition of cannabis. So that brings us up to the Senate debates of the marijuana prohibition, which was in July of 1937. So and we'll get into the hearings deeper next week, and where our buddy Mr. Asslinger, this is where
Harry Asslinger
is going to start popping up his devious, weaselly little head. So, and we're also going to, now it's not all doom and gloom, because we're going to hear from a lot of people that support the hemp and cannabis industry, and one may really surprise you. But stay tuned for part 3 of how, when, and where, or how, when, and why.
When and why. And how.
How, when, and
how.
Why.
How.
Cannabis became illegal. And we're going to follow this, but it's getting ready to get interesting, and I guarantee you it will considerably piss you off as we continue this and find out just how one-sided and how underhanded all of this began, and why all of the fighting that we're doing now to decriminalize and re-legalize a plant that should have never been made illegal in the first place.
I think they should give us discounts. Since, like, back in the day, they price gouged our ancestors on cannabis in order to illegalize it. I think they should discount it.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to find out that the whole point of this tax was to destroy small producers.
Hey, you remember that thing we were talking about at break that the people didn't hear about, but you and me talked about, and I said, I don't know?
I have no clue. Oh, yes.
Mom said she did it from her end.
Oh, okay.
Just Very so you good. Know, I wanted to keep you informed on such things.
Well, thank you.
Yes, got to keep you up to date.
Well, you know that I need updating every few minutes. Because if I don't, I get lost.
Yes.
And I don't like it when I get lost.
Yes, I am corresponding with our producer, Mama Rochi.
Oh, Mama Rochi, our producer.
As the show has been running. Yes.
All right.
Yes. I am in constant correspondence with Mama Rochi, the producer, as our show is running.
So, what interesting tidbits do you have tonight, Caitlin, the talent? What is the word from Cuckoo Land? Oh yeah, I'm feeling the heat. I'm feeling the heat. That's a good sign she's thinking. Now, if we start seeing little puffs of smoke where the hair is starting to scorch, she's really got it going. You have a lot in common with Mama Rochi.
Do you know what your corpus callosum is?
Do I know what?
Do you know what your corpus callosum is?
I do not believe that I am familiar with that term. Please enlighten me.
Your corpus callosum is the part of your brain that attaches the two hemispheres of your brain together.
Vaguely familiar.
And in later years, it helps both sides of your brain work together more efficiently.
Very interesting.
I think that the two classes that I'm taking together right now, psychology and sociology, or not, yeah, psychology and anatomy and physiology were two really good classes to take together.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that until a couple of chapters ago in psychology. Because we went over the parts of the brain in psychology, like all the parts of the brain.
Right.
And then now, like as the chapters carry on, other parts of the brain are like reappearing throughout the chapters. Uh, so I think that's really going to help whenever I reach the nervous system chapter of anatomy and physiology, because I will already know what some of the parts of the brain do.
I agree wholeheartedly. I have taken anatomy and physiology 1 and 2 probably at least 3, maybe 4 times. But the last time I took it was probably close to 30 years ago.
Right.
So it's been a while.
So, well, and I don't know how they did it back in your day, but now, and
Dry
me,
erase boards and
well, no, me and Lucas were talking about this earlier. Now anatomy and physiology 101 and 102, those are general education courses. So once I get to nursing school, I will take advanced anatomy and physiology.
okay.
201 and
Yeah,
202.
what I had was what you would have considered advanced anatomy and physiology.
So you took like regular anatomy and physiology, and then you took advanced anatomy and physiology, and then you smoked a little bit too much weed, and then you had to take regular anatomy and physiology again.
What? What? No, it's one of those things. If you don't really keep up to date or repeatedly look at stuff, you forget. And that wasn't really an area that I was studying a whole lot. I would focus in certain areas of anatomy and physiology that I wish to delve deeper into, and other things that are corresponding with that. But as the overall system, I've forgotten a lot.
I like the cells and how they work and what they do, but it's really hard for me to remember how they do
How they do?
in relation to the type of the cell and like the cell's specialized purpose.
Now, you heard it here, folks. An official scientific term from Caitlin the Talent. How they do.
I mean, it is.
You're impressive
It
tonight.
is. Well, because there's like I can remember the broader groups of cells, like muscle cells, uh, n- uh, muscle cells, connective tissue cells, like skin cells. Okay, so part of my problem is the levels of organizations of cells are a little wonky, for one. Like I remember like the three main types of muscle cells, and then like nerve cells is hard too. Nerve cells was hard because it was all clumped into one. Like that was part of my problem. I feel like the way it should have gone, and I understand they did it this way for a reason, for like to help better understand the majority of, well, for the broader majority of people to help understand the concept better. They wanted to teach us about the cells first and then tell us where the cells go and where the cells do and what they do. But that's just not how my brain works.
Well, I'm sure that 20, 30 years of study and all since the last time I took any of these classes, I would be amazed at how much has changed and evolved, since I went through the class.
Right.
Now that leads us also to, the medical profession, of how many doctors and nurses out there that, was studying the same stuff I was at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
that haven't really gone back and refreshed. They stayed in their area of specialty and really haven't concerned themselves with, say, cannabinoids and cannabis therapy. So a lot of them are not educated in this unless it was a specialty or a personal interest.
Right.
So it's up to us as a community to let our uh, primary health care providers know that we partake or have a cannabis or uh, cannabinoid regimen, and help them understand and educate them. We have to educate the physicians, because you don't have a bunch of cannabis reps coming into doctors' offices and taking them golfing and out to dinner, uh, you know, saying a reefer a day keeps the doctor away. You don't have that. So it's patients. We have to educate our medical professionals and ask them, is cannabis a suitable substitute for some uh, pharmaceutical medication that you're on?
Right.
But you have to bring this out to your physician.
Or how does cannabis affect pharmaceutical medications that you possibly
And
have
we're
to take?
we're also learning more and more of that. How it affects with other. And the funny thing is that most of the findings are that it boosts a lot of the beneficial aspects, leading leading me to question if it boosts effects of beneficial medications that have
Mm-hmm.
been synthetically created. If we took those synthetic medications away and let people use the natural and see if we got the same result, oh, that would really hurt the pharmaceutical industry if they found out that cannabis could be cannabis in many different forms, and cannabinoid products are a suitable replacement for pharmaceuticals.
Well, the only place that I have read a negative thing about cannabis in relation to the body is that when you ingest cannabis through smoking it, the problem with doing it that way is it introduces free radicals into your body systems.
This is true. That's why vaporizing
Yes.
is a very good form.
Eating is also good.
Yes, yes.
Eating.
Consuming edibles and oils is another very good way of ingesting your cannabis, and through food, as we're going to find out.
I think in the future of cannabis, we're going to see transdermal THC patches.
I think you will. I mean,
I think
the
that
technology is there.
It is.
And, that may be some place where the medical or the pharmaceutical industry possibly could get a niche,
Mm-hmm.
is into the transdermal patches. But yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
Well, because I know, like with other drugs, such like to name a few, I know fentanyl is bad, but some people do need fentanyl for medical reasons. So,
Right.
like fentanyl, clonidine, which is a blood pressure medication and a heart medication. There's even some like Alzheimer's medications that are transdermal. The good thing about transdermal patches is kind of the way that they work is you get a little
Right. It's a time release
dose over, most of the time it's 24 hours. Now some of these patches are like you pop it on, you're good for a week.
Right.
But yeah, so you get a little bit over a 24-hour period. Could you imagine the benefits one with anxiety could receive from wearing like a cannabis patch that's like specifically?
Well, certainly, because we're showing that cannabis therapy is helping reduce opioid addiction. And what if they came out with a transdermal patch that stepped them down like the anti-smoking patches?
Mm-hmm.
That you could start with a high dose of cannabinoids, and help break that opiate cycle, and then gradually reduce the cannabinoid or the milligrams over time.
Right.
So, and also if they were worried about somebody cheating or taking, they would know what the base level cannabinoids are in their system, the therapeutic level.
Right.
And anything above that, you know that they've been cheating a little bit. And then you could monitor that as they step down, and it also could, monitor progress. But I mean, yeah, I think there's a lot of future for cannabis products in the pharmaceutical area. We're looking at a lot of different stuff that blends remedies and natural herbal medicine with cannabinoids. Our biggest problem is taste, because a lot of these natural remedies and the raw herbs and all are really terrible. They taste awful. So
they do good things, but they taste bad.
Pardon me?
They do good things, but they taste bad.
Yes, they do good things, but they taste bad. So we're working on some different things, and infusing oils and or CBD oils, and seeing if we can come up with something a little bit more tolerable. But it takes some high doses of some of these herbs to get proper effects. So it's all about formulation.
They got transdermal THC patches.
Okay, they do. They do have.
They're out there.
They are out there.
Of course, they would think of everything.
Well, yes. But they haven't thought about Ambrosia Nights, Groovy Days, Golden Medley, our original CBD oil, which is available at masterrochiesgarden.com. So check us out, masterrochiesgarden.com.
You know what's funny?
What is funny, Caitlin?
When I was younger,
yes,
transdermal patches weren't nearly as popular or widely used as they are today. They're kind of really revolutionary if you think about it.
Well, they've been around for a while, but they were limited in use. But yeah. They're gaining more popularity and more use.
Yeah. Well, like Doctor Who, there's certain episodes where they have patches that'll like make you happy, sad, angry, make you forget. Like the transdermal patches kind of make it seem like we're stepping into a fantasy world, but it's just revolutionary medical technology. Because not all aspects of the pharmaceutical companies are bad. It's just the people in the pharmaceutical companies' pockets that are bad.
Well, they are used to making billions of dollars, and their shareholders and corporate officers and everybody that work are used to making very good money, and they don't want to give up on any of it.
No.
And it's and that's fair. It's the same way that some other industries don't want to give way to new technology.
Right.
And they'll fight to do what they can to maintain the bottom line and control as long as they can. And you can't blame them. But when it's for the betterment of everybody, that's when they should recognize it. Like I said, all this underhand crap to get it illegal in the first place.
They make hug bucks.
What,
Mom?
What?
Mom commented. Our producer, Mama Rochi, commented and said they make hug bucks. What the heck are hug bucks?
You have to interpret what she's trying to say.
Hug bucks. Mom, what the heck are hug bucks?
I don't know.
Oh, autocorrect. They make big bucks.
Oh, they make big bucks. Yes, they make big bucks.
Well, and like one would hope that like whenever the pharmaceutical companies first became a thing, that was their original intent, to help people with medications as widespreadly as possible while making a little bit of money. But I think they took the money side of it too far.
They were out to make money from the start.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so. Because they ripped off patents, they ripped off formulas early on. It was always the bottom line. When they got big enough, If there was a threat out there, they would either bankrupt them or buy them out.
Well, it was just my smidgen of hope for humanity.
Well, maybe we're starting to get back there, and starting to press some of these huge corporations in the military-industrial complex about enough of forced social reorganization. It's time for us to take our lives back, our government back. No, I'm not talking about any type of violent thing. But as a people, putting in people that actually represent us instead of special interest. I think it's so important. And the two biggest things I think that could help Washington is a lot of cannabis and a lot of sage.
Mom said, look what they did to Rexall.
Yeah. Good point.
What'd they do to Rexall?
Good point.
What'd they do to Rexall?
That is for next week.
Oh, fine. Sure.
Part 2.
Part 2. What did they do to Rexall?
Because I think that we have spent our time wisely tonight.
I think so too.
So would you like to say good night, Kate?
Good night, Kate.
And as always, peace, love, and good vibes. Good night, all. Thank you for watching.